Hello students, so through this video lecture I will take up discussion on precautionary principle under environmental law. As we have already seen the aspect of the polluter pay principle, so when we will see precautionary principle, again we have to see precautionary principle under two subheads. One is the evolution of precautionary principle internationally, that is by United Nations Charter, United Nations Conference and United Nations Declarations and Agreements. And secondly, the incorporation of precautionary principle into our own legal system. That is by way of legislative law making by the state. And secondly, the incorporation of this principle by our honorable judiciary while resolving the environmental disputes and environmental matters. So let us take up the discussion regarding the origin of this principle, that is a precautionary principle. Because before precautionary principle evolved in Germany in 1970, there was a term called Warsaw-Prinzip. Now Warsaw-Prinzip actually means in English that when there is a forest degradation, when there is a pollution in sea, because of that Germany became the first state in the world to draft and make a law related to protection of environment. The first law which they actually made was relation to the protection of air, and the law was Air Act. Later on, with the passage of time, if you see the advancement of these environmental legislation, now Germany, as I was telling you, was the first state to come up with this environment friendly legislation. So when they started coming up with this environment friendly legislation, they, under those legislative laws, they incorporated a mechanism and concept like prevention, principle of prevention, which obviously in today's time we know this as precautionary principle. Then polluters pay, which we have already seen. Then responsibility for survival and future ecosystem. So responsibility for survival and by future ecosystem, we mean that in today's time when we talk about sustainable development principle, this is very well reflection of responsibility for survival and future ecosystem. Now there are two reasons for the growth of this precautionary principle. One is the economic reason. Another is, some people say that there is some religious belief also. So in the second video lecture, I'll be talking about the economic reason, religious belief and other reasons and factors for development of this precautionary principle.